to Arise IBO News that comes every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to see more news videos, you can definitely like and subscribe. And as I said, we're here every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern for your weekly news catch up. So let's get started on our news for the week. We have a few different things to go over this week. The first one being one that we've spoken about over the last few weeks of news, and that is the banking client background check. So I do want to send that reminder out again because they're still going through it to where there's a lot of agents not responding to the emails being sent out. If your agent is in the banking client, make sure they're responding to their emails and getting their background checks done. They did need to do a re-verification. So even if they've already done it, they need to go ahead and respond to the emails and get the new background check completed. They could be possibly risking their SOWs if they do not. So if you have anyone in the banking client or you're in the banking client, as I've stated for the last couple weeks, make sure they're checking those emails and make sure you're following up with them to see if they have responded to any emails. Because again, we're getting to the point where their SOWs may start being at risk for not following through with that background check. The next one I saw going across our page as well as a few others where the fundship client was said to have been leaving the platform. That is not true. The fundship client is not leaving the platform. They are just consolidating the max and the regular hours for that client. So they're not leaving the platform. It's just a consolidation where the max is going away and everyone will be on that regular client. Now, a lot of people were concerned about the fact that pay would decrease because max was going away, and we know that there's a set pay on max. But the top performers and the regular performers will see their base rate um, go up 50 cents around there. So pay will go up for the client for those performers, but they're also going to be adding in an incentive. So if you're hitting those incentives and you're performing the way that you need to on that client, your pay will be equivalent to what it was on max. You'll have the opportunity, shall I say, to earn pay that is equivalent to what it was on max. So it's not necessarily stripping the pay, it's more of pivoting the pay to make sure the top performers are being compensated correctly, and those who are not performing are being compensated accordingly. So that is why you're seeing that shift. But again, Fundship client is not going anywhere. It's just the max part that's leaving. Another question that I saw across multiple platforms was about this commitment adherence waivers and clarification on those waivers. It was a question on whether they were 30-day rolling or month to month. So the way those commitment adherence waivers work is they run from the first through the last day of the month, first through the 31st or first through the 30th. And then you have your new waiver period starts on the first of the following month. So you have your waivers for, let's say, August 1st through August 31st. You used your two waivers. If you use one on August 8th and say August 28th, on September 1st, your waivers do start over. And I do see chat. If you guys have questions, you can put them in chat as well. So that is the waiver situation. If you have agents saying that the waivers are not being applied, or if you've tried it and it's not being applied, there are a few reasons that may be happening. Number one, you cannot release hours and then go in and request the waiver, right? The waiver is designed to cover the hours that you are scheduled for. So if you release hours, there are no hours for the waiver to cover. That's number one. Number two, there are people that are requesting 3 and 4 waivers. So the other big thing that you need to know is that you only get 2 waivers a month. Now, each waiver can cover up to 48 hours, but if you go to get a CA waiver for a 1 hour shift and it covers you for that 1 hour, that's one waiver. So whether you're using it to cover 1 hour or the 48-hour mark, it's still one waiver. And then the next waiver you request will be your second waiver. So it's not going off of hours or days. It's going off of the amount of waivers, and you only get 2 per month. And that's for emergency purposes. So honestly, you shouldn't, and no one should have to use their waivers every single month, um, since it is meant specifically for emergencies for you. All right, so that is the waiver situation. Again, they do start over on the first of the month. You get 2 per month that you can request, and do not release the hours that you want waived. They will not be covered if you do that. Next, we are going to discuss client postings forecast. So, the client postings, you should start seeing a few more of those. You probably won't. So, for those of us that have been here for a while, seeing them to the level that we used to see them, a ton of clients all at one time, we probably won't see that happening necessarily because they're really wanting to keep clients at a 2 week starting date or 2 to 3 weeks. So they want to post clients and then the start date for that client be within 2 to 3 weeks. Whereas if before, we know sometimes clients would be starting 30 to 45 days out. So they could always have clients in the portal because, I mean, a 30 to 45 day stretch is a lot. Now it's down to 2 to 3 weeks. So you will, ramp up time is already starting to happen. So you'll definitely start seeing clients more consistently. But for those of you that are looking for it to go back to the rate that it was before, it's not that the clients are not um, needing agents. It's just that they're keeping it within a 2 to 3 week period of that class starting. All right. So for those of you that just hopped in, we went over the banking client background information, which you need to get with your agents. If they haven't finished it, their SOW is about to start being at risk. The fundship client is not leaving. They are redoing the program on it, so there won't be max anymore. You can go back and watch the video to get that info. The CA waiver clarification, the CA waivers do start over on the first of the month. It runs from the first to the last day of the month. You get 2 waivers per month on that CA waiver. And clients, you will start seeing more consistency with that as we are coming into a ramp up period. So let's hop on this FAQ. We have been doing this in 15 minutes for the last 3 weeks. We are getting it. All right, FAQ. I see what's going to happen with Arise and the lawsuit from Diamond. So Diamond, Arise and Arise has multiple lawsuits out. First off, but we don't know what's going to happen until the result of the lawsuit. We know that Department of Labor one is probably the biggest that's occurring, but if you follow the lawsuits and the things that the Department of Labor have been doing, you'll see that Arise is one of the many that's kind of embarked on this 1099 situation with the lawsuits. We see Uber going through, having settled out. I think they settled for like a couple $100 million. DoorDash had the same thing happening. I think Lyft also. So a bunch of the 1099 companies are fighting different lawsuits. Most of them are settling out. They're going ahead and just paying up the money, and then they're operating business as normal, making modifications according to what needs to be made for the lawsuits to stop. So I don't really have an answer on where that's going to take it because I don't know what their plan is on, how they're going to handle it, whether they're going to settle, whether they're going to try to fight the lawsuits. I'm not sure. But as I know, I will update you guys. Next question. Every job posting site seems to have banned Arise job posts. What are alternative sites that will approve job listings? These major sites, job post sites, are not going to approve job listings for Arise. You'll be able to shuffle in there temporarily depending on verbiage, but eventually they will probably catch you and shut your account down. I don't really do job postings, so I don't have a clear answer on that yet. I can test it out over the next month or so and get back to you guys on that. Most of the job boards will only allow Arise itself to post the jobs. Since if you haven't noticed, Arise is starting to post more to job boards. Um, so they're not really allowing the IBOs. They're shutting that down. So I would suggest finding other ways to market or having your business, your job post, not necessarily just be Arise focused. Next question. Can agents see their pay they have earned on the Arise portal? Can you explain as the IBO how we see each agent has earned to pay them correctly? So yes, no, your agents cannot see what they've earned on the Arise portal. The IBOs will get an invoice twice a month from Arise. I believe it's like the 8th and the 23rd or somewhere around there. You have to look at the pay calendar. But Arise will send you an invoice that you can download that will tell you every agent that has service, the intervals or minutes they service, how much Arise has paid you for them. The invoice will also include that 1975 or however much the fee is for your company that Arise has taken out and any incentives. So you get an invoice twice a month, and then you will go in and work your invoice and pay your agents from there. Can I explain the waiver portion again? Yes, the commitment adherence waiver. Um, it runs so and these are the courtesy waivers, you guys. These are not the tech waivers or that's the global waivers. I'm strictly referring to the courtesy waivers. They run from the 1st through the 30th or 31st of the month for those waivers, and they start over on the 1st of the following month. So that's number one. A lot of people are stating that they're being declined, their waivers are being declined. The couple of reasons that are it's happening is number one, you're requesting 3 or 4 waivers. So with these commitment adherence waivers, if you request a waiver for 2 hours, that is one waiver request. The waivers can cover up to 48 hours, but if your waiver request is put in for 2 hours, you don't get to just request until that 48-hour is met. That 2 hours is one waiver, and then you'll have an additional waiver for that month. They can cover up to 48 hours, but every request, regardless of the time that you're requesting, is a waiver, and you only get 2. The next thing is people are requesting waivers, but they're releasing the hours and then requesting the waivers. That does not work. If you release the hours, the waiver cannot be used because there's no hours there for them to waive, right? They can only waive hours that are there. So do not release your hours if you're going to file a waiver for them, if they're designed to cover those hours. Don't use your courtesy waivers for tech issues. Tech can issue their own tech waivers. So do not use your courtesy waivers. If you've been waiting forever for tech support, get that waiver from tech support and do not use the courtesy one. Hope that helped. All right, guys. And lastly, today is our IBO Government Contracting 101 for IBOs class. It is happening in about 45 minutes. If you sign up for it, as you did have to register for it, you should have the link already in your email. I know I hit the send button 2 or 3 times, so you may see that email 2 or 3 times from Zoom, but that link should be in there. And it's 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. We are going over the basics of government contract. This is not an in-depth class, so if you're already well versed in government contracting, this may not be your cup of tea. But if you are at the beginner stages and you're looking to see where do you start, how, what is it, stuff like that, then that is what this class is for. So our government contracting class is today at 6 p.m. Eastern. As I told you guys before, it's free to any IBOs that are interested. So I will see y'all in about 45 minutes. And look, it is 5:15. We have done it again. Any questions before we roll? All right. Well, thank y'all for watching the Rise IBO Weekly News. I'll catch you guys next Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Facebook. I believe this goes to TikTok. Any of our social media platforms, add a Rise to the top. And I'll see you guys that are registered in 45 minutes.